Players learn to move the ball as a team in this FC Barcelona staple called the Double Rondo. Use cones to create two small square spaces about 2 yards apart. Here's how it looks. Place 5 players around each square, or rondo. These are the possession players. Assign 1 player to the center of the first square. This is our recovery player. Hand them a penny so we know who they are.
5 against 1. When a player loses the ball, gets the penny, and changes rondo. Okay? Yes?
Every time the possession players complete 10 passes, they get a point.
Venga, 1 point.
Once the recovery player intercepts or deflects a pass, they swap places with whoever lost possession, who gets the penny and becomes the recovery player in the second square. If the recovery player is having a hard time getting the ball, just call out a player's name at any point and they swap in as the next recovery player. Barça legend Johan Cruyff once said that a rondo simulates every part of an actual match besides shooting. The simplicity of the rules allow players to get creative and focus on their decision-making. Players practice decision-making while passing in this FC Barcelona staple called the Triple Rondo. Use cones to create 3 small square spaces about 2 yards apart. Here's how it looks. Divide the team into 3 groups, each one assigned to a different square, or rondo. Assign 3 possession players and 1 recovery player, each to the first 2 squares. Hand the recovery players pennies to hold so we know who they are. Send 3 more possession players to the third square, which doesn't have a recovery player, for now. The possession players stand around the square, passing back and forth, while the recovery player stands in the middle trying to intercept the ball. The first time a player with possession loses the ball, they receive the penny and run to the third square to play as the recovery player there. Each time the possession players at a given square complete 10 passes, they get 1 point. Barça legend Johan Cruyff once said that a rondo simulates every part of an actual match besides shooting.
Adjust your position constantly to give good options to the teammates.
The simplicity of the rules allow players to get creative and focus on their decision-making. Players on the outside of the square should be in constant motion to give their team as many open passing targets as they can. They are not easy, but rondos are a fun way to get your team comfortable maintaining possession under pressure. Add another element to an FC Barcelona staple in this game called the Advanced Rondo. Use cones to create 3 small square spaces about 2 yards apart. Here's how it looks. Divide the team into 3 groups, each one assigned to a different square or rondo. Assign 3 possession players and 1 recovery player to each of the first 2 squares and give them a ball. Assign 2 possession players and 1 recovery player to the third square without a ball. Hand the recovery players pennies to hold so we know who they are. On your call, the possession players stand on the perimeter, passing the ball back and forth while the recovery player stands in the middle trying to intercept the ball. When they do, they hand their penny to the player who lost possession and dribble to the free square to activate the rondo. A possession player can also dribble to the free rondo after they complete 5 passes in a row. Barça legend Johan Cruyff once said that a rondo simulates every part of an actual match besides shooting. Here, we've added dribbling, increasing the amount of movement, control, and focus needed for the game. Teams compete to maintain and recover possession in this game called Rival Rondos. Use cones to create a rectangular space, then divide it in half into 2 squares. Here's how it looks. Divide players into teams of 5, a red one and a blue one. send all 5 players from one team and 1 from the other team to the first square. The remaining 4 teammates start in the second square without a ball. On your call, a rondo starts in the square with 6 players. The 5 possession players share the ball as the player in the center tries to recover possession. If they do, they get a point and dribble to the second square to begin another rondo with their 4 teammates. The player who lost possession in the first square joins in as the new recovery player. Once the possession team completes 10 passes, they get a point and another recovery player can join in on defense. This is a modified rondo, the possession game made famous by FC Barcelona. Here, players discover how to create passing lines that will draw away defenders and protect the ball. Players will also learn the importance of moving without the ball. It is essential to stay in motion at all times to present teammates with as many passing options as possible. A dynamic offense brings the entire field into play and keeps defenders guessing where the ball is headed next. Send the ball to the safe zone without losing possession in this game called Get Into It. Use cones to create a rectangular space, then create a small square in the center. Here's how it looks. Divide players into 2 teams of 4 plus 2 jokers or neutral players. The team with possession stands around the larger space, 1 player to a side. The recovering team spreads out throughout the playing area. They can press anywhere except inside the small square. The jokers are free to roam wherever they want, helping on offense. On your call, the team with possession passes the ball back and forth between their teammates and the 2 jokers. Every time they pass to a joker standing in the center square, they score a point.
Point! Very good, this is point!
If the recovery team gets possession, both sides swap roles and continue playing. Here, the recovery team must be tactical with how it positions itself throughout the area. Moving together towards the player with possession will constrict the space and cut off passing lines. But be careful. Send too many recovery players towards the ball and risk leaving an opponent open to receive a pass. Pass the ball to claim your territory in this game called Divide and Conquer. Use cones to make a square space. Then mark off 2 diagonal lines to create 4 triangles. Here's how it looks. Divide players into 2 teams of 3 plus 4 jokers or neutral players. The 2 teams face off 3v3 in the square. The jokers stand outside the square, 1 to a side.
The objective is to make 3 passes inside 1 triangle. Come on, play!
Every time a team completes 3 consecutive passes inside one of the 4 triangles, they get a point. Both teams should use the jokers to their advantage. A pass to them counts towards one of the 3 in a row. This game is all about maintaining possession.
Where is the free space? Where is the free space?
In order to do so, players should try to stay in constant motion, setting their teammates up with as many clear passing lines as possible to keep the ball away from defenders.
If we are all inside the same triangle, maybe we don't have enough space. Okay? So let's find the balance between spreading out and playing closer.
The 4 triangles aren't very big, so players will need to think about where they position themselves in order to free up space. Too much crowding and the ball won't have anywhere to go.
Bravo, bravo! Well done, Jeremy, good pass!
Players practice maintaining possession while getting where they need to go in this game called The Invasion. Use cones to create a square space, then create a smaller square inside the larger one. Here's how it looks. Divide players into 1 team of 8 and 2 defenders, each holding a penny.
Okay, guys, so this is a rondo. We have 8 players outside, 2 players inside.
The players on the outside take turns passing the ball while the 2 defenders try to recover possession.
Your objective is to move the ball around until you find the space to dribble the ball inside this red square.
Outside players get a point every time they make it into the smaller square with the ball.
Also, you get 1 point if you play 10 passes in a row outside.
When a player loses possession, they take the penny from whomever recovered it and switch roles. The Rondo is a classic possession game made famous by FC Barcelona. In this version, players discover how to attract defenders in order to create space and enter the scoring area.
Okay, so what do we need to do? Maybe we have to play short first to attract them, and then when we attract them, what is happening? We are creating a space, right? And then we move the ball fast, and he has the space to go forward. Bravo, bravo, bravo! Well done, Alejandro, 1 point for you.
Get the ball to safety without losing possession in this game called Lockbox. Use cones to create 2 square spaces about 2 yards apart. Then make a smaller square inside each space. Here's how it looks. Divide players into 2 teams of 5. Send 4 players from each team to stand around the large square. 1 player from the opposite team stands in the smaller square. Place an odd number of balls in the area between the 2 squares. Play simultaneous rondos, the passing and possession game made famous by FC Barcelona. The players on the outside share the ball, while the player on the inside tries to recover possession. Players on the outside try to dribble inside the smaller square. If they do, they leave the ball there, run to retrieve another one, and play again.
If I'm recovering here and I get the ball, I'm red player, so I can go with the ball and leave it here on my square.
When the player in the middle recovers the ball, they dribble to the other playing area, leave the ball in their team's square, and run back to continue playing.
If I recover the ball, you can try to get the ball back, okay? Once I am out of the square, then you cannot press me anymore, all right?
Play until there are no more balls remaining. Whichever team has more in their square wins.
It's moving the ball around until we have the space to go forward. So think what you have to do to get as many points as possible in as short time as possible.
Getting the ball safely in the square takes patience, teamwork, and coordination. Just like scoring a goal in the actual game. Players practice drawing defenders away to create space in this game called Inside Out. Use cones to create a rectangular space. Divide it into 2 narrow scoring zones on each side and a small square in the center. Here's how it looks. Divide players into 3 teams of 3, 2 on offense and 1 recovering.
So you have 2 options to score.
The team with possession can score by dribbling the ball into the center square or by passing it to a teammate already standing there. The recovering team scores every time they bring the ball into one of the 2 narrow scoring zones on the side, either by dribbling themselves or passing to a teammate.
Let's play. Edu, you start.
Play short rounds and have teams keep track of their own score, then swap roles in the next round.
Teams in possession, we need to score points by occupying the middle zone. So how can I create space there? That's good, Mark. Well done.
The more they move the ball, the more chances they will have to penetrate.
So give options, play, play, play. And when is the moment, when we have the space free, then we occupy it.
This requires patience and coordination. But scoring is worth the wait.
That was good, that was good. Bravo!